Hello viewers, welcome to our weekly TV program Faith and Astrology. Thank you very much for your kind interest to our program, because we have been receiving a lot of messages via WhatsApp and also email. Thank you very much for your kind interest. Today we will talk about April and the message of planets in April. So we will start with on the 4th of April, there is a conjunction between the conjunction of Mercury and Neptune as well. What is the message of Mercury and Neptune conjunction to us? As you know, Mercury is the planet of wisdom, and the Neptune is the planet of inspirations. So when these two planets are united, conjuncted together, that there is going to be a message about taking decisions, considering inspirations, but staying in logic. So I kindly request you not to be much more mystic or spiritual very much, but listen to your heart, but stay in logic, and you must negotiate with the experts around of you when you start something, when you start a project as well. So Mercury and Neptune tells you, be careful when you start a new project. And what is the Asma al-Husna of this conjunction? Of course, Mercury's typical Asma al-Husna is Alim and Hakim, Al-Alim and Hakim. When we translate into English language, this is the knower and the knowing God deeply. And the Neptune, the basic Asma al-Husna is the Al-Hadi, the leader, the leading God, and inspiring God as well, because he inspires us something into our hearts. So when we recite Al-Alim, Al-Hakim, and Al-Hadi, Al-Rashid as well, these four Asma al-Husna will be our leading Asma al-Husna, the names of God, of course. So these are going to be very helpful when we start taking decisions. And when we look at another important point is on today 5th of April, Friday, and there is a new moon, and then there is an important message of the new moon. Of course, the new moon will be on the 15th degree of Aries. So I'm going to give you information, detailed information about the message of new moon soon. In between 9th and 11th of April, Venus and Neptune are going to be conjuncted. So, what is the message of this? As you know, Venus is the planet of love, and when we look at Asma al-Husna, this is Al-Wadud. That means, when we translate into English, the loving God. God loves us very much, and He doesn't want us to love anything more than God. And we prove this. We don't love money more than God, sharing when we are rich, sharing our money with the poor people. So this is a very important point, that we love God more than money. And Neptune and Venus are together, very inspiring, and very romantic feelings can cover our heart. So we must be a little bit careful about, if we may fall in love, and we can be very emotional, and we can look at the life with different eyes, not realistic little bits. So I recommend you to recite the Lord of God as Al-Wadud and Al-Rashid and also Al-Hadi. These two Hadi and Rashid names are going to lead us to the logic, and also will inspire us, and they will help us to stay in logic as well. On the 10th of April, there is retro of Jupiter. So it is going to start retro. It is going to be till 1st of August. And what is the message of retro Jupiter, and what should we do? Of course, the standard astrology tells us to be careful about some judicial things, or opening new business or these kind of things. But I recommend you, according to Islamic astrology, to recite the name of God, Al-Mumin, Al-Muhaymin. Al-Mumin and Al-Muhaymin names are going to be very helpful these periods to be staying calm, and as well when we do something, we negotiate first, and also the God is going to inspire the correct things about the things what we plan. So I kindly request you, when Jupiter retro starts, reciting the name Al-Mumin, Al-Muhaymin. Mumin and Muhaymin, when we translate into English, they can be translated as the God who is trusted. That means we trust in God. When we trust in Him, of course, He's going to lead us in the correct position. But in any case, I request you to negotiate with the experts first, because according to Quran, when we look at Quran, Allah says several times to negotiate with the expert as well, especially Shuara chapter. Even Shuara means negotiating. When we translate into English language, we must ask an expert about any specific thing. And when we look at the 13th of April, Sun and Pluto are going to be 90 degree. So this square and this position of Sun and Pluto giving a message when we want something to do, there can be some problems. So avoiding these kind of problems, I request you to remember the name of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Rahman Ar-Rahim, the compassionate and the most merciful. And the Pluto reflects at Dar and Al-Kahar, these two names. So catching the balance, and inshallah, when to define everything very well. So I request you to call the name Al-Basit, Wal-Fattah, Wal-Latif. Al-Basit means the simplifying God. Al-Fattah means opening God. And Al-Latif, the God who gives special gifts or things to us, any good thing. So we must be a little bit patient in this period when we want to do something, but reciting these names and taking time to think very well. After that, trusting in Lord, and these are going to be very good. And I give you a special information on the 13th of April, if you had to do something very important, I request you to give a donation to any orphan girl who is very poor and those in need. This is going to be very important, and you can request that girl after giving donation, wishing, praying. In Turkish we say Allah razı olsun, means may Allah accept your deeds. This is very important, having this kind of speech from an orphan mouth. On the 14th of April, there is sextile of Sun and Jupiter. This is going to be a good position, of course, for barakah, fertility. And when you have got any work relating to abroad, export, import, these kind of things, if you had to go to other countries, this is going to be a good time, good period. taking an action. And to speed this up, I request you to call the Lord of the universe with the name Hadi and Rashid, Aziz and Muiz, and Nur and Rahman al-Rahim. These Asma al-Husnas are going to be your leading Asmas. On the 17th of April, Mercury is going to be in Aries. So the Mercury is going to be very fast. It will be very helpful thinking fast and finding solutions very quickly. So to speed this up, so you can call the name of God Al-Alim and Al-Hakim. These two names are very important of the Lord of the universe. Al-Alim, the knowing God, and Al-Hakim knows very detailedly, sees what we can't see. In our daily life, we give our vision and we talk about any specific thing, but sometimes we speak without knowing the details of that topic, really. And so we must be careful in this position, so we can be very regretful about what we say. On the 19th of April, the full moon is going to be in Libra. So the message of the full moon, I will tell you soon, detailedly. And on the 20th of April, the sun is going to enter Taurus. So this is going to be a wonderful message of the spring as well. And when sun is in Taurus, some income will rise up. As you know, the Taurus period is normally end of April and the first 3 weeks of May. So this is the awakening of the nature. So this is the symbol of the wealth as well. And the Taurus is the second house of the zodiac, and symbolizing love and also earnings. So our earnings may rise up after 20th of April. To speed this up and to catch barakah of the gods, fertility, about what he gives us. Al-Wadud, Al-Karim, As-Samad, and also Al-Ghani. These names, for instance, Samad, the God who doesn't need anything, but everything and everybody needs him. And Ghani, Al-Ghani means he is the richest. And Karim means the most generous. So no one can't be generous more than the Lord of the universe. On the 23rd of April, Sun and Uranus are going to be together in the conjunction position. This is going to be very good about financial things. When you want to invest, so I kindly request you to think twice, but after taking some advices, then you can be courageous and you can invest your money for a good thing. And this is going to be very helpful about new earnings as well. On the 24th of April, Pluto will start its retro, and this is going to force us to face with our problems. So we are not going to be so relaxed very much. In between 25th and on 27th of April, Mars and Neptune are going to be in 90 degrees, and this is a bit hard position, and also a lot of questioning will start about religion, faith, and this kind of spiritual things as well. People, especially Aries and Taurus, may ask some questions they want to know. the answer. On the 13th of April, Saturn will start its retro till 20th of September. And in this period, while Saturn is doing its retro, some responsibilities and some necessities will start in our heart, and some earnings also. If you are working in a place, I recommend you not to quit, please, because Saturn is going to be in Capricorn in between 2018 and to end of 2020. In this period, the world economy also was very affected about the sanctions of United States. So Oğlak in Turkish, but we say in English Capricorn. This is the horoscope. This is the star sign of business. So Saturn in Capricorn will affect discipline and the patience about business. Everything will be okay in the future, but nevertheless, we must be very careful about our spendings. Anyway, now we will talk about the new moon. New moon doesn't mean a bad thing. New moon means a new start. And the new moon will be in Aries on the 15th degree. And it is going to affect mostly Aries this month, and any Aries whose ascendant is as Aries or moon is Aries. When your moon is also Aries, or if you have got stellium, 3, 4, 5 planets are in Aries, that is going to make you also Aries. And this will affect you, this will force you for a new start. In general, you may think you can give your energy for a new start. And when we look at other horoscopes, especially Taurus, when new moon starts in Aries, the Taurus will be affected in a spiritual way, and the Taurus is going to try catch the spiritual things in life. Can start yoga or learning some Far East religions, or learning more about Islam and also teachings of Islam, deep meanings also. And these kind of things can be started by Taurus people, or any Taurus whose ascendant also Taurus, or any person whose ascendant is Taurus or moon is in Taurus too. When we look at Gemini, Gemini will start new friendships in this period, and they can say goodbye for old friends, and they can say hello for the new ones, and they can make an important organization. So I recommend Gemini people in this period calling the name of God as Kayyum and Kavi. These two names are going to be very helpful about organizations. So the Gemini will be very happy. Anyway, when we look at Cancer, they are going to be affected about career. Any person who is Cancer or ascendant is Cancer, they can start a new vision with his career. They can take decisions about that. So I request Cancer people, any person who has got Cancer ascendant, to call the name of God with Al-Aziz Vel-Muiz. Al-Aziz and Vel-Muiz names are very important. That's these names, when we translate into English, the Most High, Al-Aziz, and Muiz means the God who makes us higher. And so these two names are important for Cancer to catch a good wind to go on the sea. When we look at Leo, Leo can make a good start with education as well. And they can take a decision about learning new language, or they may want to go other countries abroad, but they will want this very much in this period. So I request any person who's listening to us, whose horoscopes or ascendants or moon are in Leo, they should call the name of God as Sabur. That means the patience. And when we look at Virgo, Virgo will make renovation, renewals in judicial things or spirituality and these kind of things. They may want to go to Umrah, to Kaaba in this period just because of this reason. So I recommend them to call the name of God Al-Afif, Al-Tawwab, Ghaffar Ghafur, and Settar. These names are going to be very helpful, saying goodbye to the old things and saying hello to the new ones or new things in our life. And when we look at Libra, Libra is going to live this kind of new moon on the 7th house, so they can question about marriage, his or her own marriage. How is it going? Are we going well? They can ask these kind of questions, and they will try to find some logical answers by himself or herself. And I recommend them to call the name of God El-Vedud and El-Jami. This kind of two Asma al-Husna will be very helpful about staying in a marriage. Especially I recommend these two Asma al-Husna for the ones who want to stay in marriage. They can call Vedud and Jami. These two names are going to be very helpful about happiness in marriage. And when we look at Scorpio, the Scorpio people will make a new start with their health or their job. They can change their job really, or they will want this, the need of changing job. They're going to be very fed up of their work or working area. So I recommend them to stay calm and patient, because in the world economical situation now is not available to quit job and looking for the new one. So I recommend anyone who is listening to us, who is thinking of quitting job, and they should be patient. And the Sagittarius will make a new vision about their love, about their ending a love and starting a new one maybe, but this is going to be a renewals about love. And the Sagittarius or ascendant Sagittarius or moon Sagittarius, they will want a change about love and also kids, and they can want something interesting about their kids. And when we look at Capricorn, any Capricorn whose ascendant is Capricorn and the stellium in Capricorn, they must pay attention about their family, because they may leave some problems in their father's home, and the father or mother can be very angry about any reason. So I request Capricorn people to be careful about father, mother, parents, and also a landlord and or moving any other place. Finding another rental home is also on agenda. And when we look at Aquarius, they're going to make a new start with their brothers, sisters, or they're going to stop their relationship with siblings or any other relative, any person who was like brother. And the Pisces, when we look at Pisces, they're going to leave. They're going to make a new vision about earning money. So I request Pisces, ascendant Pisces or moon Pisces, stellium Pisces, they should be careful about their expenditures, and they mustn't spend a lot of money for anything. So I kindly request these people, Pisces people, to call the name of God as Samet, Kerim, Gani also. These three names are very important for the Lord of the God. This is important for the education and learning about more things. Anyway, this was new moon. When we look at the full moon will be in Libra, and on the 29th of degree, and this is going to reflect also to other horoscopes. But mostly the full moon will affect Libra and also Cancer, because any moon position affects very much Cancer. The Cancer should be very careful about full moons, because they can be very nervous when they see full moon. Any person who is ascendant also Cancer can be very nervous when they see full moon, really. So I kindly request Cancer people, ascendant Cancer or stellium Cancer, staying calm and not taking decisions very quickly, not taking decisions without thinking deeply. Especially this is important for any country whose ascendant or whose horoscope is Cancer, such as Turkey and United States. When we look at these two countries, United States sun is in Cancer, Turkey's ascendant is Cancer. These days, these two countries are arguing about the weapons, and the United States is forcing Turkey not to buy S-400, and Turkey says we are an independent country and we can want whatever we want. This is not the ally mentality. So this kind of arguments are still going on, and even any person who is Cancer and also ascendant, they can leave this kind of trouble very much. So when we look at Libra's position, Aries will feel this kind of full moon very much. They can decide about marriage. They can start seeing the reality about the marriage, really. So they will take decision according to this. But any Aries whose ascendant is Cancer should be very careful about taking decisions. And Taurus, when we look at Taurus, they are going to see the effect of full moon on their health and the work position. Taurus people who's expecting any promotion, They may take it, but they mustn't, they shouldn't, they are not supposed to fight with their bosses because of some stupid things, some simple things. They should be very careful about their bosses these days. And when we look at Gemini, the Gemini will see some realities under the light of moon on their fifth house, and they can start, they can end old love and they can start new love. This kind of thing can occur. So nevertheless, I request Gemini people to be careful about leaving old love and starting the new one. They should think twice, and also recite the name of God, El Vedud, Well Jami. This is a wise idea. And when we look at Cancer, they are going to live their full moon effect on their fourth house, and this is going to be affect their family life. So they should be very patient, really, because full moon affects Cancer people or any person whose ascendant is Cancer deeply. So they should be very careful about that. And I request them to recite the name of God as Rahman ar-Rahim and As-Sabur, Al-Halim, these four names of the Lord. Please learn the meaning of these four names and recite it with its translation in your language. And when we look at Virgo, the full moon will affect Virgo with the money and the financial house. So they should be very careful while they're spending. They can exceed their limits of the credit cards or their budget. So there's a saying in Turkish language, lay your feet according to your kilt. So that means you must be very careful about spending money. And Libra, of course, they're going to live the effect of full moon deeply, especially the effects will be on the 29th. That means any person who was born just a little bit third week of October, they're going to be affected very much, mostly. I request them to observe all the opportunities around of them and to use it after negotiations. So Vedud, Rahman, Rahim, these names are going to be at the top for Libra. And Scorpio will live this kind of effect spiritually. They can travel just because of spiritual information, and I request them to make itikaf, Islamic solution. Itikaf, if I'm telling for the viewers who don't know the meaning of itikaf. Itikaf means the rendezvous, meeting with the Lord for the specific time, sacrificing time for the God. And this is very good time for Scorpio, for itikaf. They shouldn't speak in the room with anyone else. Taking the food inside of the room, eating there 2-3 days, 4 days, maybe 5 days. Staying in the same room, reading Quran, and also reading the life of Prophet Muhammad, and worshipping together, not entering internet, not speaking non-important problems with someone. I request you not to speak just 2-3 days. This is going to be like silence fast. you know, like Ramadan. I request Scorpio people to do this itikaf. And when we look at Sagittarius should pay attention about their children. They may pay attention about kids and their love also. About friendship, Sagittarius, not for children, and they should pay attention for their friendships. So I request them to be careful about that, and they can end some friendships these days. And the Capricorn is going to leave this kind of effect on career. They may take some offer, and I request them to think twice about changing job these days. Aziz and Muiz are very important these days for them. And Aquarius people, they should pay about education. The message of the full moon is over education and traveling as well. And lastly, Pisces. Pisces will be very spiritual, and I recommend them to pay attention their afternoon praying. This is and also reciting Asr chapter from Quran is important. Afif, Tewab, Gafar, Gafur, Settar are very important for the Pisces. And this is all for this week. And hope to see you for the next week. Please stay with us and keep following our YouTube channel, Natural TV. So you can, if you miss this program, or if you want to watch this program again, you can watch our YouTube channel, Natural TV. We are there also. Thank you. See you.